Hi, welcome to the Mathemagic channel. Today we look at this very cool problem. Which number is larger, 1.005 to the power 200 or the number 2? Now this has a couple of really cool math tricks, so I recommend you stick around and see what happens to see how we can solve this question. Let's jump right in. So to compare these numbers, we're going to use mixed numbers and fractions and some smart little expansions. So I'll propose this to you. If we were to rewrite 1.005 to the power 200 as 1 plus 1 over 200 to the power 200, and this is because 0.05 or 0.005 is equal to 1 over 200. So what we can simply do is to chop it up and say it's 1 plus 1/200th to the power 200. And if we think about what this expansion looks like, it looks like 1 plus 1 over 200 times itself, so times 1 plus 1 over 200 times itself, dot, 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 times itself, 1 plus 1 over 200. And we're going to do this 200 times. So we have 200 of these. So we can say we have this 200 times. And on the right hand side we have the number 2. Now the number 2 we can rewrite as 400 divided by 200, as 400 divided by 200 is 2. And we can do something pretty smart here. We can say that this is 201 over 200 times 202 divided by 201 times 203 divided by 202, and then times, we could say 399 over 398, and finally 400 over 399. Now you might think, what's the point of doing this? Well, if you were to cancel all the terms out, 201 cancels with 201, 202 with 202, 203 and 203 and so on, and then 399 and 399. And in the end, we're left with 400 over 200, just like we had up here. And so this is indeed equivalent to the number 2. So since this is the number 2, what we can do here is we can say that 2 is equal to, in brackets, 1 plus 1 over 200, so this is the very first fraction, times, and then for the second one, we're going to have 1 plus 1 over 201, dot, 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 all the way through to 1 plus 1 over 399. So just a short point to note on the right hand side, when we count lists and say for example if we were to go from 1 through to 10, we can all agree that that's 10 terms. And so in our case on the right hand side here, we're trying to go from 201 to 400. And as you go from 201 to 400, in our case we have 200 terms. And 200 terms is exactly what we need to make the left-hand side comparable to the right-hand side. And so we're quite happy with the comparison of the fractions here. So this is good and we can move forward. Now the reason why this is really good is if you compare 1 plus 1 over 200 on the left to 1 plus 1 over 200 on the right, these are the same. But if you compare 1 plus 1 over 201 on the right to 1 plus 1 over 200 on the left, the one on the right is going to be smaller, and that's because 1 over 200 is bigger than 1 over 201. And similarly, all the terms on the right are going to be larger than the terms on the left. That is because when you compare two fractions, for example, a over b and a over c, so assuming the numerators are the same, if you were to know that b is smaller than c, so in this case 200 being smaller than 201 or being smaller than 399, then naturally the fraction on the left is going to be larger. And so in this case the fractions on the left are bigger than the fractions on the right, and we can conclude that 1.005 to the power 200 is indeed going to be bigger than 2. So this is our answer, and we can be quite happy with it. And to double check that, what we can do is just plug it into a calculator to see that this is correct. And if we do 1.005 to the power 200 minus 2, we notice that the value we get is a positive number, and that really means that 1.005 to the power 200 is going to be bigger than 2. We hope you enjoyed this video on the Mathemagic channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel so we can keep bringing you awesome math videos. Please drop a comment below if you have an alternate strategy. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.